In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to earn 2 million credits as quickly and as easily as possible with some very important tips and tricks to help you go fast as you can around IGA in the Evo. So this is the latest time trial we have on Gran Turismo 7 to earn the 2 million credits. If you want one for the Suzuka, a guide for that is also on the channel, so check that out after watching this if you need it. But yeah, we're at IGA on the Comfort Soft tyres in the Evo road car. Now I predict the gold is going to be around the 16.5. I made a few mistakes on my lap. We're currently on P3 in the world, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we can go a lot quicker than that if we push it further. But let's get into this guide and show you how we got there and some important things. So first of all, I am running weak ABS. I found it a little bit better to run weak ABS. Found it gave me more rotation. But let's get into these tricks that are going to help you go a little bit faster in some of these corners. So going into turn one, we're going to use this little bit of change of colour on the floor on the tarmac as our reference for the braking. You can see braking just past that little marker. Now you can see I'm currently on my 4th lap. It's because I think it gets a little bit better as you go further into the lap, so more grip as you do more laps. Now into this corner, we want to keep it quite narrow, so what we do is we go down to 2nd gear, and then as we're going through the corner, we're going to go down to 1st gear to get a little bit of extra rotation. Now we're just going to let the car coast when we go into 1st gear, and then onto the brakes again before the end of this curb on the right hand side. And again, what we're going to do is back down to 1st gear, and again just let it coast, let it rotate, and then that will give you a better exit line so you can keep the throttle flat in 2nd gear and you won't go anywhere near that barrier. And then we're going to go for our next braking zone, looking at the Marshall board on the left there. That's our reference, and you can see as soon as we're level with it, we're pretty much on the brakes. And again, what we want to do is attack this corner. Now, you don't want to go too tight on the early part. I go quite early in here. You can see the ghost in front goes a little bit wider. But then what I can do is I can use 1st gear to rotate it. Again, use that 1st gear. It flicks the car around, then back up to 2nd gear. And then at this point, what you want to do is try and take a wide... You want to flick this car in from as wide an angle as possible. I'm a little bit narrow here, but what I do well is I get it into 3rd gear and I get the apex perfect there and keep on the throttle. That is vital to keep the throttle down. Now you can see on the exit, as long as your left-hand tyres are on that tarmac, you won't get a penalty, so you can get away with taking a lot of the grass on the right-hand side. Now we're going to go flat out into the next braking zone. Now we're going to look again for our Marshall board on the left-hand side. You can see it there. We're using that as our reference. That's what we're going to be braking dead level with, and then you're going to swing it in. Now this corner can take many different lines. I went for a very narrow line into this corner. You can go a little bit deeper. You can even slide the car in and get quite good pace through it. So you can see I tried the narrow line this time. The Delta that we're chasing tried the wider line. So you can see we get ahead there, and we actually get to 2 tenths ahead on this tight narrow line. However, the Delta that we were racing against there takes a wider line. You can see it actually catches back up on the exit, and it actually overtakes from where we were on the entry point. So that was a little bit slower there. I think there was about a 1/10 to be gained on that corner. And then into the next braking zone, we're using this little bit of shadow where it goes over the little bit of grey tarmac as our reference, pretty much dead on that line of shadow. We're onto the brakes, just a little bit of 50% braking just to rotate the car. And then you want to take this corner so that your right hand tyre is right up against the grass on the right hand side, and then you can get back on the throttle as early as possible and keep that throttle down all the way on the exit and all the way through this left hand corner. You're going to just hold that tight line through there. Do not lift as you come through here. You just got to keep it planted. And then into the final braking zone, you've got 2 different options here. You can brake early on the red one and late on the yellow one. I went for the late option here on that yellow marker, and you can see there just onto the brakes. And now what we're going to do is go straight over this little bit of grass. Then we're going to use the gears to rotate it in. So downshift to 2nd gear as we're going through the corner. This will create the car to rotate. Just let it coast briefly and then back up to 3rd gear so we can get onto this apex on this final apex. So you can see now onto the throttle, right hand tyre right up to the grass there, and keep that throttle down as you go over the line. You can use a lot of the grass on the left again, and we go over the line for a 14.8. A lot of time to gain there, but let's go through that from the chase camera again. So again, from the chase camera, we can see where we gained and where we lost a bit of time. So going into turn 1, this is where I probably lost a little bit because I took a very tight line and I probably rotated it slightly too early. You can see there, I had to kind of correct it. But again, second part was reasonably good, using that 1st gear for the rotation and then able to get on the throttle nice and early. And then into this next corner. Again, could have took a slightly wider entry point. I went very narrow in there, but again, that little 1st gear shift, you can see the rotation that it causes this car. It really rotates the car through the corners. So make sure you're using that 1st gear for the corners, because it just gets rid of the understeer and just gives you such good rotation in the middle of the corner. Now this is such an open option for lines you can take. See, I went for that slide it in narrow line, downshift a second, then back up to third gear. However, you can go a little bit deeper and then cut back and carry more exit speed, which is what I did when we were chasing the Delta, and the Delta actually gained a bit there on us. So I do think there's another tenth for me to find on that corner if I get it perfect. And then into this right hand corner, I really hooked this up, to be honest with you. I got this pretty much spot on, carried a lot of momentum, carried the momentum through the corner, and the final corner I think I got it pretty much nailed as well. You can see over the grass, rotated it, second gear, got a lovely line through the corner, able to hit the apex perfectly, and was able to stay on the throttle without getting a penalty there. So pretty good at the end of the lap. But yeah, hopefully this is going to help you out. Hopefully it gives you them 2 million credits. If you're not going for that, hopefully it helps you get them 1 million. I'll be back with another one of these next week. Take care, everyone.